morning, distinguished honorees, members of the Association of Fundraising Professionals, and our many guests. Welcome to the 36th Annual National Philanthropy Day Awards. I'm Doris Parent, and I serve as the president of the Association of Fundraising Professionals, Greater Philadelphia chapter, for over 400 members in our city of Philadelphia and the surrounding counties. We're normally together in person on this special day, but the continuation of the COVID-19 pandemic has kept our group physically apart for one more year. However, much like our awardees today, we're still doing our important work, albeit masked or virtually these days. This morning, we honor the spirit of giving in its many forms, whether volunteering, fundraising, advocating for better policy, or making a gift. The awardees that we're spotlighting for National Philanthropy Day will share their stories of generosity, resilience, and success in the hope that everyone is energized and committed to making a similar impact. AFP GPC continues this critical work through the promotion of ethical practices, education and professional development, advocacy, leadership, and service. We embrace this mission of advancing philanthropy and the high, very attainable ideals philanthropy encourages: compassion, understanding, generosity, dialogue, and empathy. On behalf of AFP GPC, I'd like to thank our sponsors, whose generosity of time, talent, and resources made this morning's celebration possible. Beginning with our honoree sponsors, our Giving Heart sponsors, our producing sponsor, Tolsma Productions, for their extensive behind-the-scenes work in pulling this virtual event together. Finally, our generous annual chapter sponsors, CCS Fundraising, Donor Perfect, Schultz & Williams, NextGen, Fairmount Ventures, the American College of Financial Services, Valerie M. Jones Associates, InfoRich Group, Three Foxes Consulting, Lambert & Associates, and Aurora Philanthropic. I would now like to recognize the AFP GPC volunteers and partners who made today possible through their hard work and dedication, starting with the National Philanthropy Day Event Committee, led by Chair Melanie Richter of Project Home and AFP GPC board member, and the National Philanthropy Day Awards Committee, led by co-chairs Joan Roebuck Carter of the Mann Center for the Performing Arts and Robert Weinstein of the Jesu School, as well as the AFP GPC's Executive Director, Valerie Kunz, and her colleagues at Association and Conference Group for producing today's celebration. Finally, I recognize and thank the governing board of AFP Greater Philadelphia chapter for their unwavering support of this annual awards program. I'm happy to present the award for Outstanding Fundraising Volunteer to Patricia Holloway. She was nominated by Mainline Health. Patty is a community volunteer, board member, and philanthropist who inspires others to learn and is always finding opportunities to connect people with a purpose that is meaningful to them. We are delighted to name Patricia Holloway the Outstanding Fundraising Volunteer.
Patricia Holloway, the 2021 Outstanding Fundraiser of the Year honoree, is a phenomenal volunteer, hands-on leader, and true friend of Mainline Health and so many other organizations in this region and far beyond. Allow me to try and capture Patty's magnificent attributes in a few words. Patty's service to Mainline Health started over 21 years ago when she joined our Board of Governors, volunteering for several committees over the years, eventually serving as vice chair. She brought creativity and drive to building the Mainline Health Board by overseeing development and the implementation of tools to guide board recruitment, assess trustee performance, and enhance trustee orientation and education. In 2008, Patty joined the Paoli Hospital Foundation Board and has been a devoted ambassador for Paoli Hospital ever since. She is a highly respected advocate for our services region-wide, embracing her duties as a trustee with visionary purpose and professionalism. She currently serves as the chair of the Paoli Hospital Foundation Board. Patty has been the driving force for a multitude of successful fundraising campaigns over the years, not only at Mainline Health, but also at a number of other organizations in our region and beyond, such as breastcancer.org, St. Edmund's Home, Villanova University, the Archdiocese of Philadelphia, After School All-Stars, St. Charles Borromeo Seminary, and Amigo de Jesus, just to name a few. Patty inspires people to learn and to give, and is always finding opportunities to connect people with purpose greater than themselves. When the COVID pandemic hit, Patty mobilized her fellow board members and partnered with Paoli Hospital Women's Auxiliary to generate over $110,000 for the needs of Paoli, Mainline Health, and our employees, all in a matter of weeks. In roughly the same time period, Patty has helped raise over $5.2 million to support a new interventional vascular suite that will enhance stroke and heart care at Paoli Hospital. This is just one of the latest major campaigns in which she has played a leadership role at Mainline Health. Patty also represents Paoli Hospital as a committee member on the first ever system-wide campaign for behavioral health at Mainline Health. With Patty's help, the committee has raised just over $9.5 million in less than a year for this extremely urgent need to support the mental health needs of our community. Patty derives such joy from her service and philanthropic giving and is immensely talented at engaging with others to join her in these meaningful pursuits. She cares deeply about healthcare, education, and children, and her faith guides her to serve others with the gifts that she has been given. As a grandmother of 17 and a mother of 5, family is the key pillar of her life. Patty's husband, Gary, for more than 44 years, is her active partner in many of her philanthropic endeavors, and the two of them share a commitment to developing the next generation of philanthropists, starting with their own children. We at Mainline Health and the greater Philadelphia area are blessed to have her as a part of our community. Patty's philanthropic work and her endless kindness are an inspiration to us all, and there's simply no one like her. So, without further delay, I introduce you to Patricia B. Holloway, or to those who know her, Patty.
So I learned at a very young age about giving back. My parents were phenomenal. They couldn't monetarily give back too much at the time because they were raising 6 children and it was difficult for them. However, they were so involved in every part of the community. My volunteerism started back in grade school when my children were in grade school, and I just started seeing things in the school that needed to be done. Mainline Health actually invited me onto the board. And I questioned them. I mean, it was an honor to be asked. And I said, well, why would you want me? I really don't know much about the medical community, other than the volunteerism I did for breast cancer. And they said that they wanted someone that represented the community. I served on that board for 13 years, and it's a board that makes a lot of decisions. And it really became a part of me.
I met her and her family many years ago, and it was through Amigos de Jesus, and we became really good friends.
I was at Sunday Mass out at St. Pat's, and Father Dan O'Donnell spoke about the children down at Amigos de Jesus, and it just called to me.
The impact and the help that we receive from them is for kids that they don't know who they are because they are coming from the streets. Because of the support and the love and the help, they receive so much healing and transformation that they, for the first time, they know that who they are and that they are loved and they can move forward in life.
I think the biggest thing that I would say to anyone is just to stop, take a moment, think about what you really enjoy in life. Give a part of yourself, do something that you enjoy doing that will help others and will make a difference in our community, in our nation, in our world. Whatever your passion is, share it with others. The joy that it brings to other people is just overwhelming.
Our next award is to the Outstanding Corporation, PNC, for their PNC Arts Alive initiative. They were nominated by Greater Philadelphia Cultural Alliance. Since its debut in 2009, PNC Arts Alive has provided $12 million in funding to support more than 275 art exhibitions, interactive installations, performances, festivals, and pop-up art experiences. More than 2 million people have participated in programs at 80 different arts organizations funded by PNC Arts Alive to date. In 2019, PNC expanded their program to create PNC Arts Alive Connect, which is designed to support smaller, community-based arts and cultural organizations. PNC and their initiative, PNC Arts Alive, is a recognized leader in corporate philanthropy and very deserving of the Outstanding Corporation Award. Congratulations.
The Arts Alive initiative, it's interesting. It starts out tough times, just like last year, back in 2009, for different reasons, not a pandemic, but an economic downturn. Many of the arts institutions and the cultural places that people went and frequented couldn't survive back then. So the idea was, hey, how can we could take our resources and apply it to these organizations that really had problems? And out of that grew Arts Alive, $1 million commitment for that year. And continued on, we've gone through 13 cycles. And as you get through those 13 cycles, there's 300 organizations that have benefited from it. To date, PNC Arts Alive has contributed $13.2 million to the arts sector. If you take the arts sector and what it develops, what it generates in revenue, it's over $4 billion. So it's huge. The other thing is too, Arts Alive is to bring diversity. How do you get the new generations in? And what changes? So Arts Alive is to promote that as well. Through all the 13 years, it's been more than 2 million people have gotten to see Arts Alive supported venues, shows, all types of entertainment that they probably wouldn't have otherwise had the chance to do. To get to Arts Alive, you got to start through Arts Connect, which is some of the neighborhood and base organizations that really need funding to get there started, but they need to survive, they need to grow, they need to build themselves into an organization that would get funded by Arts Alive. And the neat part about that is it's a 2-year commitment. So you can actually plan, have your budgets, know that the funding is going to be there again in the second year. To be acknowledged by such a great group as this, it validates what we're doing. And we find out that what we set out to do is not only being recognized, it's not the reason why we're doing it, but that it's making a difference.
Our next award is Outstanding Foundation, presented to Today is a Good Day, nominated by Einstein Healthcare Network. Heartbreaking personal experiences showed Martha and Paul Sharkey, the founders of Today is a Good Day, how much of a roller coaster it is for parents who experience the neonatal intensive care unit. In 2014, they created a foundation to help other families navigate the NICU and provide them with personal and financial support. The foundation also supports numerous local hospitals in ways that have been transformational for both families and area NICUs. Please join me in congratulating the inspirational leaders of Today is a Good Day, this year's Outstanding Foundation.
Our story begins back in 2010. We were so excited to learn that we were expecting for the first time, and soon after we learned that we were expecting identical twin girls. Our daughters, Claire and Mary, joined us at 23 weeks and 5 days. Claire weighed 1 pound 2 ounces, and Mary weighed 1 pound 4 ounces. we were launched into that overwhelming, isolating, unknown world of the neonatal intensive care unit. Our daughter Mary, who was stronger at birth, she ended up getting very sick the weekend around Thanksgiving, and she passed away the Sunday after Thanksgiving at 2:15 in the afternoon. The reason we founded Today is a Good Day is because we recognized this gap in care after our extended stay, and we wanted to find ways to give back.
For me, in terms of what I wish I had known going into the NICU, one was I wish I had a medical degree. There's so many things that you don't know.
There were moments that we had meeting other families, trying to create relationships with other NICU families who would understand, and we would say to each other, we're going to do something. We don't know what it's going to look like, but we're going to do something. We officially founded Today is a Good Day in 2014. Care packages really became our first touch point for families. We put a journal, hand sanitizer, water bottle, bonding squares.
What we've learned since 2014 when we started the organization, there's such a great financial need for parents that are experiencing the NICU. So that's where it's so important, where Today is a Good Day is able to come in and not only do the personal support, but also do the financial support, making sure that the babies are getting the best start once they leave the NICU and go home.
And our goal is to help create these personal connections among families so that first and foremost, they can get a little bit of hope and know that they are not alone, that others have navigated this road before them.
Accepting the award for Outstanding Fundraising Professional is Delia Perez, who was nominated by the Planned Giving Council of Greater Philadelphia. Throughout her 30-plus years fundraising career covering all aspects of philanthropy, Delia's efforts have secured $70 million in charitable gifts along with $30 million in unrealized planned gift expectancies, totaling more than $110 million in philanthropic support for local and nationally prominent organizations. Please join me in congratulating Delia Perez on this honor.
I started with a small school in South Jersey, and the school was founded for students with mental handicap, including Down syndrome students. And so I had the good fortune to travel to Gwangju, which is in a very lower part or southern part of South Korea. It was such a life-changing experience for me to really see philanthropy in action to help others, especially people you've never met before. And I really got bit by the bug, and I have been working in this labor for well over 30 years at this point. Planned giving is a very thoughtful approach to gift planning. I've been lucky enough to work with individuals for later in life gifts where they really want to be able to make a difference and give back to help others. So it's an opportunity for me to work with folks to match up with their interest and the needs of an organization to really make a difference in the lives of others. It builds the foundation that's needed for the future of the organization. And it's money that is going to come in later when it's no longer needed by the benefactor, but most likely will very much be needed by the organization to sustain its future and future growth. The Planned Giving Council here in Philadelphia is made up of those of us who work in the field of planned giving. So I've been a member of that council for quite some time, and I'm currently serving as president again for actually a second go-round, and also co-chairing our annual Planned Giving Day conference. And what we do, we bring in some of the best and brightest individuals in our field, and we offer an excellent educational experience for the day. I'm very grateful to my colleagues within the Planned Giving group here in Philadelphia, very much so. I'm very appreciative of their belief in me and their endorsement of my skills and capacity. I'm very honored to be in this position. It's wonderful. It marks a high point in my professional career. It also is a high point too in my own life.
On behalf of Schultz & Williams and AFP GPC, I am pleased to recognize this year's recipient of the M. Jane Williams Professional Development Award. This This award was established in memory of M. Jane Williams, the first female recipient of our Outstanding Fundraising Professional Award in 1993. The award is awarded annually by AFP GPC to mid-career fundraising professionals in need of financial support for advanced training, conferences, certification, or other professional development activities. Please join me in celebrating this year's winner. Our next award is the Planned Giving Legacy Award, given in collaboration with the Planned Giving Council of Greater Philadelphia. With our last award this morning, I am proud to celebrate the philanthropic spirit of Valerie L. Vargo and M. Jane Williams. Valerie and Jane met as classmates at the University of Pennsylvania and became great lifelong friends. Valerie and Jane both had successful careers. Valerie mainly in medicine, microbiology, and real estate, and Jane in fundraising and consulting. Both women were donors that gave generously, both in life and as part of their estate plans. And when they passed on far too soon, their gifts amplified each other's support of their beloved pen. Together, they have made significant contributions using planned gifts that will support breast cancer research, epilepsy research, and faculty at Penn School of Arts and Sciences. The impact of their friendship, leadership, and legacy is evident in the lives saved with their support.
The fact that Jane and Valerie created this legacy says a lot about who they were as people. And it was one of the reasons I wanted to nominate them for this award, is because it shares the story of the impact that we have as fundraisers and as donors. Jane has a long history at Penn. Jane actually graduated from the university in 1965, as did her close friend Valerie Vargo. They were classmates in 1965, and while they both graduated from Penn at the same time, their career paths were very different.
Jane was the first woman to be recognized as a fundraiser of the year. And she was always fundraiser of the year.
Usually an award like this would go to one person, but it really makes sense for these two friends and colleagues to receive this award together, because Jane unfortunately died an untimely early death, and then so did Valerie. And Jane started the giving, and then Valerie, in a way, took up the torch and ran with it.
When she put this gift together for Penn, along with her friend Valerie Vargo, they understood that this was going to be a meaningful lifetime commitment to an institution that they both loved.
The gifts broadly will support two big areas at Penn. The first is the School of Arts and Sciences, and the second is Penn Medicine.
There couldn't be a person who has done more for fundraising in this community than Jane has for the last 30 or 40 years. So we miss her, but we're glad to see that this gift is going to keep her legacy going.
It was highly appropriate that she would receive, with her colleague and friend Valerie, this legacy award, because in some ways it rounds out the story of her giving, and giving not just of her dollars, but of her time and her effort and her resources to the nonprofit world.
This concludes our program. I want to take this opportunity to thank each of you for joining us in celebration of philanthropy and service. It has been a true privilege to host the 36th annual celebration of Greater Philadelphia Giving. Thank you to our awardees and sponsors. We look forward to connecting with you in person and virtually at our numerous workshops, seminars, and events. Please stay safe and be well. Thank you.